Alright, back for part 3. This one is a little bit more detailed, and this is where some money comes into it, but you can still do it pretty cheaply if you take your time, set your budget, and well, you'll understand when I'm done. Alright, you can get a lot of food cheap if you go by bulk, dried stuff. Like this is beans. I have some in this rice. Extenders, they're great for what we're talking about doing. They store well. You can really get a lot of this kind of stuff real cheap. You don't even have to put them in bags like this for now. Just go out and buy them. You can put them in Ziploc bags for a little bit, or put them in, well, I'll get the 5-gallon bucket in a minute. You can put them in 5-gallon buckets like I had on that last video. Now, salt, sugar, that amount of salt, that amount of sugar, you won't need any more than that for a week. That's probably good enough for quite a bit longer. You can save your jars that things come in and put beans and rice and something like that. Maybe add a oxygen absorber to it, help store it for a little bit longer until you get some of the other stuff. You know, to go along with the rice and beans, you can do something, you know, pouring cans of soup, cans of chili, cans of whatever, you know, stews, onto your rice, onto your beans, or just to go along on the side, you know. And if you already get stuff like this and it's already in cans, you can just buy a little extra until you get enough for a week. And once you get enough for a week, you know, you're done as far as that goes. You go on to the next part of your food storage. Here, if you need some extra storage to keep them organized, you can go buy something like this. It keeps it organized. You put the new one in the back when you take the old one out of the front and keep them refreshed. This can go a long ways, and this is even for long-term stuff. You can do it for long-term doing this. You can also, but you know, of course, this little rack starts to add up to some money itself, 10, 12 bucks, something like that. So you don't even need that. You can take your cans and line them up on your shelves and put the new one in the back and take the one off the front. A lot of people use this for storage. Food, ammo, water, whatever. Because rats and stuff can't get in it, but this gets expensive. This is a cheaper alternative, but even this can get expensive unless you find a really good deal on them. I put a lot of stuff in these, but I got a really good deal on them. The next part, I guess, of storing would be, and we're not going to go too much detail. Oh, here, let's do this first. This is another alternative, freeze-dried foods. Mountain House has stuff. It's expensive. It does have a place in the plan, but not for this project. We're going short-term, 1 week. This is another alternative, freeze-dried stuff. All this stuff is expensive. It adds up quickly. There is a good place for this stuff later on down the road. You can start doing that if that's what you want to do. And I would suggest going for more than, you know, a week. Go a month, and then work up to 6 months, maybe a year, depending on what you think, how bad things are going to get. I think there's a possibility things could get really bad, and if you had a year's worth, it'd get you through a whole season, or help get you through a whole season where you could supplement. You might even be able to make it into 2 seasons if you get, you know, a good growing party and get a garden going and stuff. But getting a garden going is part of what you need to be doing for longer term. But we talked about that stuff later. That's, you know, different things for later. Here's something that you'll probably want to look at if you're going to go a little bit longer, decide to go past a week. But this again costs money. And the bags that go with it. And these aren't expensive, but they start to add up a little bit too. Not freeze drying, dehydrating. This is a bit of an expense, but man, does it pay off, because you can buy stuff really cheap, out of season, dry it, put it away. You can put it away in canning jars. You can put it away in Mylar bags like this, or like this, like what I just showed you a while ago. But then again, that is also an expense. Hey, we're going through this pretty quick. All right, this kind of stuff, like I said, it starts to add up, and I think you ought to look at going past a week. But really, all we're talking about is a week. So, if you would do, go out and buy a little bulk rice, a little bulk beans, dried beans, buy a little extra canned goods, put a little water away. In no time, you're going to be at a week, and you're going to kind of figure out that it's really not that expensive, and you can slowly add more to it and build up and get your month. There's places that went for a month and more. I think they're still going on right now. They didn't have power after Sandy. New Orleans, Katrina. We know there's places that were in bad shape for a long time. So if you really want to stay where you're at, and you don't want to deal with the government, you want to take care of your own property, your own self, and your family, look at going further. But right now, like I said, we're going for a week, and you're going to know exactly how easy and cheap it is to get a long-term supply of food put together. Next video, we'll go into further detail later too. We'll talk about dehydrating and vacuum packing and long-term storage a little bit later. I'll go down into more detail. I'll maybe go through step by step on some of this stuff and do some more videos on that. But for now, I think that takes care of what I wanted to get you acquainted with. Remember to, if you like what I'm trying to do, put some likes down there. If you got questions, ask them down in the comments. Give me some comments. More the better. Next time, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm not sure. There's so many different things, and really it's up to the individual to figure out what's going on with their situation and putting a priority on the different things that can be done. I may go into self-defense. I'll probably go into having some extra power or something. That would probably be the next one. Some electricity, some extra ways to cook, to keep warm. Probably go into something like that next. So thanks for stopping by. That's the end of this one. Be back next time. Hey, we do a podcast too. I'll leave a link in the bottom. Bye.